Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-match show. It's good to be back in action. Well, it's not crack of dawn, I guess. It's almost like morning coffee show time, but when you wake up for a game, it's kind of different, especially when you're not used to waking up to an alarm after being away for a week. It's even more different. Gordo is here, Sergi is here. I think Salim is going to be joining us as well. Gordo, we'll start with you. The lineup is out. Second verse, same as the first. Not exact, I guess, but you do have Costas in there instead of Robertson. Is that enough to relax you going into this game?
No, because this is now a must win. I feel like, yes, last week we were talking about, or before midweek. Wow, it's been one of those weeks. Midweeks we talked about we can collect 6 from this and we can probably sit back and enjoy the rest of the league. And Nottingham Forest, gave us exactly what we were fearing and just continued their fantastic run of form and really, stuck it to us, played their game, got a point off of us. I think at the end of the game, we were very happy with the point. I remember Sergi was even saying on Wednesday that had you just given me that result at the beginning of the game, we would have taken it without watching any of the minutes. So I think there's a mixed bag with that. So now it's a must win. It's away from home. It's Brentford. Brentford can always take 3 points off you, so I don't think any lineup would have made me calm today.
I agree. I'm pretty much on the same board. I was hoping for 6, but I was thinking we need to get 4 out of the 6 out of 2 away games. So Sergi, that does make it a must win. Pretty much the same lineup. And Costas to Robertson, I think we definitely improve on set pieces as we saw in the Forest game as well. So he does bring that in, but Brentford is definitely a different kind of animal where they are dangerous going forward and they can really get goals. I mean, I know that run is over, but they were like undefeated at home, like they had won every game or something, the first 8 or 9 or whatever. But knowing that you're even more panicky than me, where are you at right now, having seen this lineup?
I don't even know. Oh, God. I'm not looking forward to this game. I don't care who's playing. If someone told me my name is playing, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll watch it. I'm like, it's that Man United result again. It just fucked us over, and we didn't even lose that. And it just feels like the whole world's collapsing on us. And you see everyone signing this player that we can't even sign a toaster. Like they're still monitoring Amazon for a new toaster. We'll see when it comes down to Prime Day. We might sign a freaking new toaster. I hate this club.
To be fair, that's a good time to buy a toaster.
Seriously, I look at our defense and it's like, okay, it's on paper it's great, and then I look at Mwembo and I'm thinking he's gonna eat freaking Costas for freaking breakfast today or lunch or whatever time it is in London. I don't care, but yeah, it's. I just wanted a peaceful January. That's all I wanted. No distractions.
Yeah. You know what? You had your contracts done.
Enjoy players done. You can't win games.
You need to watch. You need to start getting involved in the MLB then if you want a peaceful January. Don't worry about games at all. Nobody's playing.
Salim, where are you at? Are you as concerned? I mean, I don't know. I think it is definitely a blip, right? Like it's a drop in form in terms of not getting the results and stuff. I think we were getting results even when we didn't play well. Is that finally catching up to us? Or, I mean, ultimately, it is tough opponents that we are still losing points to. Like away at Forest, losing points. I don't think there's any shame in that. Home at United, I guess this is a different argument. But
yeah, but the United game, though, we played probably the worst we've played this whole year, and United played probably the best they've played all year. And I'm sure you guys have talked about that. But I mean, Forest is notoriously a hard game for us. Last year, Nunes, last minute winner on a header. So I think today's the day where we reemerge from the darkness. There's going to be a blip in form, but the fact that we haven't lost games is we're still kind of getting points. So it's not like a Klopp blip in form. And I love Klopp. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Klopp is, a worse coach than Slot, but I'm just saying that when there was blip in forms with Klopp, it was like losses. And these are ties. And okay, they don't feel great because they're not, like Chelsea's and Arsenal's and those kind of teams. But I feel really, really, really great about today. Beginning of the season, we beat them 2-0, and it was a convincing 2-0, if you guys remember that one. And Buemo in this game, when at the beginning of the season, was tracking back half the time. So I don't think he's going to be as an attacking threat as we think he is. I mean, we know he's a great player. Wisa's the guy I'm worried about, because if he gets a chance, he could put it away. I think we emerge from the darkness. I really do. I think this is now where we kind of come back and start winning games.
See, Sergi, breathe, dude. It's all going to be good. Salim said,
listen, this is the best time to play Liverpool. If I was managing a team, I'd say, yeah, this is the best time to play us. Well, we just
it's the best time to play anybody. It's the best time to play anybody. Like I was saying at the end of, we were talking about it on Wednesday. So Nottingham Forest at that point, that was their 24th game, and it was our 31st. So like anybody that's worth anything, it's the best time to play them because they're exhausted. There's a huge gap in the amount of games that the big teams are playing, and then for less than, the smaller teams. I won't call Nottingham Forest a small team. I feel like that's disrespectful this season. But, we've played significantly more games. So everybody's legs are tired. December is always a nightmare to play through. There's just games every 3 days. So I think it's the best time to play anybody, which is what we just saw today. I mean, I know Bournemouth is they're one of the other informed teams, but the way they beat Newcastle at home convincingly.
Yeah, they beat
just
the
now.
Yeah.
4-1. And, while I said that's Bournemouth's 11 game unbeaten, but that's just Newcastle's also tired. It's just a good time to play everybody. So, but for Salim's point, last game, I just had to look it up to remind myself of how convincing it was. They had 2 shots on target. That was it, the whole game. We had 62% possession. So,
isn't that the game we watched at the Fest?
Was it?
In the Chicago Fest? Remember they scored?
No. This was in August.
No, you guys watched the Man United game at the
Yes, 3-0. Yeah,
no. That was the American Scouser petting zoo. For the Premier League Fest.
Bournemouth. We played Bournemouth.
Was that the Bournemouth game? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was them again because they scored in the first minute, and I know they went on the run, and that's like probably a big concern actually going into this game. But by the way, Serge Newcastle right, because they did screw up my single parlay, like single sports bet I did while I was in Vegas. They managed to screw it up. So they're freaking right today to do that. But okay, so Gordo, you said tired legs. Then is it concerning that you look at the starting 11 over here, and aside from the really, really tired legs of Robertson, there's not a lot of change. So what's going to have to be different? Or is it just that, Forest defends well, you're not going to have a team that's defending as well?
Oh, man, excuse me, wow. I don't want to say I told everyone so, but at the beginning of the year, my biggest concern was, yes, we're not signing anybody. Yes, that was everybody's biggest concern, but then after week 9, everyone's like, maybe they know something, like we're doing really good. And I'm still just like, it's just, people are just going to get tired. You cannot play Gravenberch, who, let's remember, last year, what did he play? 15 full games. If you put all of his minutes together, maybe 15 games.
Like you could say rested legs, if you will.
Yeah, but then your body, there comes a point where there's diminishing returns. And so, we're asking an awful lot of him, and he's been phenomenal. It's same thing with McAllister. Look at, last week, the biggest, player ratings was our 3 midfielders. They played phenomenally. This is really the only reason that we didn't, that we kept the ball and we're continuing to pressure Nottingham Forest eventually getting that goal. But you can't continue to ask these guys to play 62 games in a season every 90 minutes when we need them. So you need to win this game in order to give the rest. I think Kazi said it before the Nottingham Forest game in the pre-match, was give me these 6 points and then we can start rotating because it's not going to matter as much. We're not going to need to pick up as many points. So today he might have to sit everyone down and just say, listen, give me 3 points if you want to break, because if we don't get 3 points here and Arsenal go on, they win tomorrow, then we've got some problems. Then we're going to have to continue to play everybody at full tilt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think starting now, you have 2 Champions League games midweek where, I mean, this is going to be a chance to rotate and take advantage, man, and not shot out there everybody. But Sergi, so having said that, today, compared to the Forest game, who has to have a night and day performance compared to what they had against Forest to win these 3 points away?
every single one of them. I mean, the Forest game, the bigger picture, it was a good result, given where they are. I mean, it's second for a reason. So I didn't mind the draw against Forest. if this, this game was on the back of the West Ham game, I'd be a little bit more upbeat. But that Man United game was just like a kick in the nuts. And then we lose to Spurs. It was a nothing game. And, again, bigger picture doesn't really mean much.
Hold on, let me ask you this then. If we play about the same level as we did against Forest, would you expect that performance to beat Brentford, for example, today?
Oh, no way. We can't concede. We cannot concede first. We keep doing that, and we're gonna get caught out. We just can't concede. No first. And then again, like everyone had a bad game against Forest except for Jota, and then I don't know. He plays. He's our best goal scorer. He scores a goal and then he fucks off for 2 weeks.
I know.
2 months.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I hear it.
And we keep saying, look at our bench. But even our bench, like he won't play Elliot, who I think can make a difference. Nunes, but he's just a tier above Havertz, and so there's nothing inspiring about our bench either. So this first 11 has to get it done, and it really is. And every single one of them have to step up.
Yeah, Jota is like me doing errands at home. Like he does one thing, and it's like, oh, I'm spent. He takes like 2 weeks off.
He's the booty call you start falling in love with. That's what he is. He comes in, does a job. You're really happy. Start falling in love again, and then ghost you for 2 weeks.
Good. I'm speaking for experience.
You can always rely on Gordo for those analyses. Okay, so Salim, I guess the same question to you. In terms of the performance, I thought the second half was pretty darn good against Forest, actually.
Me too.
But not conceding against Brentford is a lot more challenging task than not conceding against Forest. So how concerned? Like, I do not expect a clean sheet at all today. Sadly, I'm expecting like a 3-2 win or something like that. Hopefully, as long as it's a win, I guess I'll suffer. I'll take the hits for my heart. But like in terms of performance, who do we need to have a better game than they did against Forest?
Salah. He's our talisman. Like we need him to really kind of lead the team forward. Diaz scores in bunches, right? Gakpo pops up here and there, but Salah's the consistent factor of this team. And if he just continues to do what he's been doing, which has been borderline miraculous at 32 years old, like the numbers he's been putting up, I mean, it's stunning. And I think he's the one that we need to look to and say, hey, come on, man, like let's go. Like you got to lead us. You got to lead us up front. You got to score some goals and let's get going. I really think this game is going to be like a 2-3-0 game on our hand. I really think that just sometimes when we kind of think like it's the dark side is just kind of like a little blip like we talked about. And I really think this is where we emerge out of it. I know I get the tired legs. I get all of that. But the rotation has been throughout the season, so like when Trent used to get 90 minutes, he's getting 70, when Diaz and Gakpo have been kind of, we're alternating at the beginning. Now they're playing at the same time because we have a serious striker problem. But I really think that now with Tsimikas and Robo rotating a lot, I think Tsimikas is going to deliver the ball like Gordo said. I really believe this is a 2-3-0 game. I think this is where we really show our stuff. And the rotation that has been going on all year is really going to start to really show its show itself.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Mo Gordo, you would think that's the guy. At least you don't have to say, knowing how self-driven he is, you don't have to be like, hey man, we need more out of you. You would think like like Salim is saying, he knows he has to be the one to make a difference. I guess my fear sometimes is that's when you see the worst of Mo, when he tries to take it all on himself, as opposed to the one that's a bit more of the distributing one that I rather see, and then take the chances as they come.
Yeah, my father, who is the ultimate pessimist, who's seen
Bring him
everything. he infected me with it.
Challenge accepted.
Cersei's best friend, right?
he calls Mo the most infuriating player he's ever watched play because of that. Where he just like sometimes he feels like he's the one that has to grab it, and oftentimes I don't know. There's something about if you played, you just know like it's not going to go in today. I'll start distributing, and Mo is not that player. He's just like I'm going to keep going because against Forest, yeah, he no goal involvements, but it's not like he had a bad game. He had one cleared off the line that 9 out of 10 times you replay that it sneaks its way in. So he very easily could have scored or assisted in that game, but there is times when it's just like there's something about the keeper today. There's something about maybe the wind speed, maybe the temperature, the barometric pressure in the air, maybe whatever it is, and you just got to start laying it off. And he still just drives it. I'm going to be the one to take the shot instead of laying it off. So, yeah, I feel like you're always going to get 100% from Mo. He's not one of the players that shies away from having a bad game. Like we talk about Trent having a bad game, it's usually because he's walking or he doesn't look like he cares as much about defense. You're not going to get that with Mo. It's just sometimes it's not going in, and he continues to push until it goes in.
Yeah, I think that's the concern, but yeah, I agree. I think when we get stuck and nothing is happening, the scrutiny goes to Mo because, like Salim says, he's the leader of the front line and he likes that role. He wants that role, that responsibility. So when things are not going our way, it's almost like I think as fans, we turn a little bit more towards one, but like, well, do your thing. And I think when the normal Mo, who would, sometimes take somebody one-on-one and then get past them or whatever, kind of gets a bit more under the microscope because now we're just like watching you to do something kind of a deal. But having said that, Sergio, how do you think he responds? I mean, Brentford is a different animal in terms of Forest does not score run as much in the back. And they get the ball out long to their to Wood or somebody like that to bring it down, or Gibbs carries it or something like that. Whereas Brentford is a team that's going to stick to their principles and try to build from the back and stuff like that. So there are more chances to counter press, which by the way is exactly why I really wanted Jota this game in the middle. But that's we go back to that. But what do you expect to see out of Mo?
I've got to say, he was unlucky against Forest, but this is his 21st league game. And he's just, as much as he looks after himself, your body catches up with you. And, he's tired. He's not getting any breaks. We don't have anyone who can all right, we'll just play you in the first half, play in the first half. We bring in Salah in the second half. And he's just not getting the break that he needs. Or that he might not think he needs a break, but we have to save him for himself. But we're literally 21 games in 21 league games and he's that talisman. So he's got the added pressure of he needs to score, and he's putting his own pressures on himself. He wants to get these records and everything else, and he does need to have a big game. And he's just one of them players I think go missing for 88 minutes, but he scored that one goal, and then next thing he's man of the match all over Yep. It's we can't just keep relying on him. And the others, they need to put a shift in. We need goals from midfield. You look at the last all the great league winners, they've always got goals from midfield. You had Lampard, you had when our Arsenal's midfielders were scoring before
De Bruyne. Yeah.
De Bruyne,
yeah.
Exactly. And we're not getting that. We're just relying on the front three. And Gakpo, he had a bad game on Sunday against Forest, but ordinarily he's having a good season. And Diaz is hit or miss. We don't know which Diaz is going to turn up. We do know we're going to get Diaz. We'll get a ball and he'll just run into cul-de-sacs. But is he going to have a good game? We don't know. He's playing down the middle again, and that's the worrying thing. And I think the biggest pessimism now in January is because everyone else is strengthening. Man City. We know. I think they know they've got away with the Chargers. That's why they're spending there's no tomorrow. And it's a couple of weeks ago I thought it was comfortable, but now it's everyone is strengthening and we're not, and it's just I can start seeing people catching up.
It hurts more too when some of the guys who strengthening are ones that we've all circled. That I think that's what hurts the most. It's this guy is, I can't even pronounce the dude's name, but he left, and City just picked up somebody that we've been circling, so it's just one of those. It's the other factor too is they're not just picking up other people; they're picking up people that we've been linked with.
Yeah, I think that's part of like media, though. We are making definitely a better clickbait than the normal United one being interested. So when an agent wants to raise the price, I think that word gets out that it's like Liverpool is in there because they haven't spent in a while. They'll probably get somebody kind of a thing. But yeah, already Mike is already in the comments saying FSG out. So I'll save that.
Come on, man.
I'll save that conversation for another day because that will go on, and we got 5 minutes to kick off. So Salim, I'll start with your optimism. Give us a prediction.
Yeah, I think 2-3-0. I really do. Like I said, kind of goes along with what I've been saying. I don't think I really need to say anything else. I just want to point out one most solid thing that you were talking about of him pressing versus him being able to let the game come to him. When he was pressing, it was when he had that extra, I don't want to say he lost a half step, but like a quarter step. We know he's a little bit slower. So, I mean, not significantly slower, but slower. We can see it. When he first was on the came to Liverpool, I mean, the guy was like lightning. He could just run past people. He doesn't have that anymore. It's got to be a little bit more crafty. So him pressing, I don't think is really a concern because he doesn't have that extra gear that he used to have. But anyway, 2-3-0 Liverpool, and we're back, baby.
Gordo.
I say 3-1, but the third goal comes late, so it doesn't feel as comfortable. But I think I've never worked harder when I know that bed is like, a little bit of rest is right there. So I think that's the motivation. That's the carrot and the stick. We can start rotating players. We get 3 points. So let's go.
You're really cramming, on a Friday evening shift. But that's a different story. So, Steve, what do you have?
A very uncomfortable 3-2 win. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, and they're going to do everything they can to kill me off by the first half. So, yeah, 3-2.
Yeah, I'm going with the 3-2 as well. I think this is going to be a tough one. I was worried more about this than the Forest game, to be honest with you, just because of the ability of Brentford to score. But let's hope for the best. And hopefully when we meet here right after the final whistle, well, not right after the final whistle, but 10 minutes after the final whistle, when we meet here for the post-match, we'll be talking about a win. Enjoy the game, everybody. Up the Reds, off to the TV. Take care.